Good morning, Red Hawk Nation. Today is Thursday, September 6th, and I'm Wade Glover with another daily update brought to you by Wingspan TV. Mums and garters filled the hallways at the end of homecoming week. WTV's Kennedy Williams has the story.
An unmatched Texas tradition for decades, mums and garters are a thing throughout schools in Frisco ISD. And for many, the mum shop has become the sole provider.
We do all of the Frisco schools, all of the McKinney schools, all of the Plano schools, Richardson. We go as far north as Sherman and Prosper and Salina and Gunter, and as far south as Austin. On a typical day, we probably fill about 100 orders a day, but during the hectic weeks that we have several homecomings in a week, if we're fully staffed, we can fill about 250 orders a day.
Anyone who's participated in a mum and garter exchange knows that they are not cheap, but the price goes into a unique experience that cannot be complete unless employees pay attention to every little detail.
The typical mum averages anywhere from 85 to 120, and the average garter is probably 50 to 85. Most of our employees have been with us for many, many years, and it's just hands-on training. You have to be proficient with a glue gun and a stapler, or be able to handle doing tedious work, doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
Consumers have the option of getting their mums and garters customized at corporate craft stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, but Fogarty argues that their mum-making process is unique.
What makes our mums different than most of the places out there is every single thing on the mum we make ourselves. We buy the ribbon in huge quantities, and we make all of the braids, we make all of the backs, we make all the streamers, we cut all the ribbon, we dot the little teddy bear, the little spirit letters, we put bows on the teddy bears or tutus on the teddy bears, and make them so that they're a more tailored mum versus some of the stuff that you can get from the craft stores that are a lot of plastic trinkets and curling ribbon and things like that is just a more messy look and a more manufactured look versus handmade.
Reporting for WTV, I'm Kennedy Williams.
The flu seems to be making a comeback early in the year. WTV's Kia Dunlop has the details.
Most people think of the flu as more of a winter sickness, but that's not the case, as already this year there have been several cases of the flu that have been affecting the students throughout the school. But according to nurse Emily McKeska, the flu doesn't have a set time frame.
I don't think it's too early. I mean, I think from what we normally, how we normally experience it, it is early, but it is kind of always around, and so I'm kind of not surprised that we already could be seeing, or that we already are seeing cases.
Although some of the symptoms between the flu and the cold are similar, there is a way to determine the difference between the two.
Well, typically, I think when it hits you pretty quickly, where it's like all of a sudden you're just like, I'm achy, I'm coughing, I've got this bad headache, and it's just come on to you really quick. Whereas, our other kind of symptoms, our cold symptoms, we start off with a little stuffy nose, and then it progresses a few days later, and then it turns into a scratchy throat, and then it starts progressing later, then I start getting a headache. Those are kind of slow things, but flu, it's kind of quick and hits you hard.
Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Kia Dunlop.
On this week's edition of My Life As, WTV takes a look into the life of junior cross-country runner Amelia Howdigi.
I'll usually get up around 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning to get to practice, because we either have practice at most days at 6:30 in the morning. On Mondays, we'll usually do our long run, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do our harder days. Wednesday is usually a recovery, and so is Friday. And then on Fridays, we do ice baths to kind of really recover before our meet on Saturday. The night before, I usually set out all my clothes for the meet in a particular order. I'm not really superstitious, but it's just like something that I've done since freshman year, where I just line up all like my shoes and the clothes and the stuff that I'm wearing to the meet the next morning. This past weekend, we had to be at Liberty at 5:15 in the morning, so I woke up at 4:30 and got ready. In the morning, I did have a small breakfast. I had some toast with peanut butter, I will say I'm probably most proud of how our team did last year at state, as we did come off with a championship, and I came off with a really good PR at the end of the year last year. And so my goal is to just be able to do that again this year. Everyone in the program is so dedicated and hardworking that it just makes it so motivated for everyone else. It's a lot of fun being with all these people who love doing something as much as you do, and you really push each other. It's just a really good group of people.
The homecoming football game is tomorrow. WTV's Luke Small has the preview.
The homecoming football game and dance are much earlier this year. The football team has practiced hard for the homecoming game against Carrollton Creekview. Head coach Chris Birch has a lot to say about the placement of this year's homecoming football game.
All right, homecoming. The date that the homecoming is set for is just because that's the only home game that we have that's a viable option. Some of the others later on in the year, our home games are on a Friday that we're not in school, or our next home game is on a Thursday, and nobody wants to do homecoming on a Thursday. So really this is the only option. Plus I think that having homecoming early in the season allows the school year to start off with a lot of excitement. It allows students to have something to look forward to. And kind of get some momentum going, not just for football season, but for the school year. So I like when it is, and excited to have the opportunity next week.
Junior football player Brandon Runge thinks that the homecoming dance is happening too early.
I feel that the homecoming game is too early this year because it doesn't really give us time to ask dates out, one. And if you did ask your date, I had to ask her out in the summer. It was just way too early for me. I didn't really like it, and I feel like it's too early for the football team and for everybody to come out. I feel like it should have just been later, maybe 2 games later than it already is.
For WTV Sports, I'm Luke Small.
If you're looking for more from Wingspan, you can follow us at Liberty Wingspan on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our award-winning website, libertywingspan.com. Please stay tuned for today's announcements. Volleyball takes on Lone Star tomorrow at 5:30 at Lone Star. Football takes on Creekview tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Memorial Stadium. There's a pep rally tomorrow to celebrate homecoming. T Club's next meeting is next Thursday before school in the auditorium and after school in the lecture hall. Homecoming tickets are now available for purchase on MyPayments Plus. Students can purchase homecoming tickets during all lunches this week. That's it for today's Daily Update. This has been Wade Glover for Wingspan TV.